This is Sham Draws, and today I'm going to show you how I simplify the human figure. I indicate the top of the head and the bottom of the crotch, and I like to draw a vertical line connecting the 2 points. Right? So now we have our point A, and here we have our point B. The upmost 1/3, you can see the collarbone here. This would indicate the upmost 1/3 of the body. And if we double it, it would give us another 1/3. And if we double it again, we have 3 equal parts. Right? So this is the first section, this is the second, this is the third. Within the first area, we have the head itself and the neck. Within the second area, we have the rib cage. And within the third area, we have the pelvis. And a little gap connecting the two. Connecting the pelvis and the rib cage. So, plus a gap. Now, we're going to take this information and reapply it to the figure. So let me put lines in each area. I'm gonna tell you the exact proportions I used to block out these shapes. So in the first area, this is the top of the first area and this is the bottom of the first area. So these are my boundaries. So I take 1/2 of the first area and draw a circle to indicate the cranium. Right. So now I'm gonna take this 1/2 and divide it again by 1/2, so it would be roughly around here. It's not gonna be too accurate to this specific model, but in general, these are rules that you should follow. So if we divide it in half again, right? So this is not exactly 1/2. So roughly around here, the bottom of the chin or the jawline would be located. So I connect it to the cranium. We have that here. And this empty space we have left would indicate the neck. So let me continue this horizontal line to further emphasize the end of the first area. So our neck goes straight down, but let's just indicate the neck muscles right here. So now we go to draw the second area. So we know this is the bottom of the second area, and this point right here is the beginning of the second area. So within the entirety of the second area, we have the rib cage. So for now, we're just gonna follow the outlines of the rib cage. So her rib cage is a little bit like this. So this is her rib cage. Takes up the entirety of the second area. So now we go down here. We know the bottom of the crotch is the end of the third area. And we know this is the beginning of the third area. So let's draw more of a horizontal line. Within the third area itself, what you should do is divide it into equal 1/3. And within the first 1/3 of this area would just be an empty space. So you would leave a gap here. And the bottom 2/3 of this area would indicate the pelvis. So I'm just gonna leave it as a block shape for now. But just keep in mind that the pelvis takes 2/3 of the third area. So the next step I would do is draw the legs. So within the upper 1/3 of this pelvis, I connect it to the bottom of the crotch. And here we have like this underwear looking thing. Okay. Now that we have erased the bottom of the third area, we could clearly see how and where the legs connect into the pelvis. So we could draw little dots here and make a quick gesture line all the way down to the kneecaps to indicate how the legs are connected to the pelvis. And we're gonna do the same thing to the rib cage. So within the rib cage, or area 2, we take the upper 1/3, and here you would notice that this is where the arm connects to the rib cage. So we draw like a little ball here, which you've probably seen in other tutorials. This is where the ball joint connects to the rib cage. So for now, we're just gonna draw sticks to indicate the arms. So this is the 1/2 point of the arm. We bring it down to the wrist, which is the other 1/2 of the arm. I don't consider the hands as part of the arm. I count them as like extra to keep the proportions. So for now, let me draw the other. So this is where the elbow is, or 1/2. The wrist ends here, so we know, okay, we know that this is the end, and this is the midpoint, and this is the top of the arm. Okay. So now if we hide the reference, we're starting to get a better skeleton of the figure. And lastly, we would take the bottom of the knees and connect it down here to the soles of the feet. So now we could go back to what I mentioned earlier. The bottom of the crotch is the halfway point of the body, and the top of the head is the topmost part of the body. So now if we get the bottom of the feet and add a horizontal line. So this is where the bottom of the feet are, roughly. These two sections would be 1/2.